Don't stop believing. Whoa, whoa. We are back, guys. I'm sure you can hear it in my voice that I'm not 100% yet. How are you feeling?
Maybe like 75.
Yeah.
And it's only the voice, physically, everything else, I'm fine.
Right, me too. I think I'm probably about 80%. I was really trying to get to 90% plus for my voice being back to normal, but unfortunately it's just taking so long. And honestly, for the majority of this time we haven't been making videos, we felt fine. Energy-wise, we haven't really been sick except for a few days at the very beginning. It's just the voice. We just had laryngitis, and I don't know why it's taking so long, but I've heard that laryngitis can take a few weeks to fully resolve.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that we're just on the tail end of that. Hopefully within the next week or so, we'll be completely back to normal. But guys, we missed you, and we were just ready to get back into this. Missed learning about everything about the UK and Ireland. Missed you guys in general. And
hope you're well.
Yeah, definitely. I know around here and back in North Carolina, I talked to my mom. A lot of people have got something going on. So it just seems to be some crazy sicknesses or viruses or whatever going on around here. But yeah, but today we are going to be learning about public footpaths, British public footpaths, the public right-of-way. I did a video about British footpaths. I don't know, it's been a while, maybe, I don't know, 6-7 months ago, I'm guessing. I don't know for sure, but you don't really know anything about British footpaths. It's a really interesting thing, basically in a nutshell, because, you know, here in the U.S., we have a lot of public lands because there's so much land.
Right.
In the U.K., it's a smaller piece of land, so more of that land is owned privately. But private landowners are required by law to keep old footpaths through their land clear.
Paths that have already been established that they happen to own the land on.
Right. And I'm not really sure if I don't think you have to necessarily build new footpaths. I think these are old Roman footpaths and so forth and so on.
That's cool.
I really haven't looked into it really deeply beyond when I was checking out that video and learned the basics. But supposedly they're everywhere. And I found this video. I thought this would be interesting because I've seen a different video about this. I wanted to see something new with you. And I actually have a website that shows a map of the different British footpaths that I want to check out with you as well.
Yeah.
And so I don't know which you'd like to start with. Would you rather start with this video?
Let's start with the video, because otherwise I might not get as much out of the map if I don't.
Okay. And what one of the reasons I wanted to check this particular video out is because it talks about use it or lose it. And I'm wondering, because from what I understand, by law, private landowners have to keep up these old footpaths. They have to not impede on those footpaths. Like you might be basically you in the UK, you might be walking a footpath through someone's field they're growing stuff on, or probably maybe even through their backyard in some cases. I don't really know.
Yeah.
But obviously that's very different here. You cannot go on private land
here. Yeah, like you said, they have a lot less land in the UK, so I kind of understand.
Yeah.
But for me, I value privacy.
Yeah.
So it would feel really strange to me to be out in my yard or field and people coming. It would just be kind of unnerving.
But it is a different culture.
Yeah.
It's something that when you buy a piece of land, if it's got a footpath on it, you're probably going to do this. So
that's true. You would know ahead of time.
Yeah. So. Yeah. It's not the same here. And, and I get it. If you do have limited land, you're going let's say, you don't have as much national parks and state parks surrounding you. We can go not very far and be in state parks. It's pretty easy to access. But if you're in an area without as much of that, it would be very important to have nature walks.
Yeah.
There's nothing like a really good trail. They call them footpath. I don't know if they use the word trail.
A hiking trail.
Yeah, I'm guessing they do use that term, but I don't think we generally use the term footpath here that I know of. But guys, let's go ahead and jump in and check this out.
Hello and welcome to my channel. Hope you're all feeling strong and well. We are in Deanwood, an ancient wood near where I live,
Dean.
in West
Beautiful.
Yorkshire, of course.
Yorkshire.
So yeah, it's a circular route that I've created on the maps using the Ordnance Survey maps. But there is something wrong with the circular route. At one part of it, as you will see, we come to a road that says no public right of way.
It's really beautiful, man.
So that is, of course, what we are talking about today in this vlog, public right of way. And when you think about it, there's lots of people that aren't lucky enough to have a garden at all. So it's really important that people have access to the countryside.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing I wanted to ask about in the comments, guys, let me know, like, he said this is an ancient woodlands, right? But I noticed that most of the trees are fairly small. Like, you know, the trees we were seeing, they aren't
Maybe it's
huge.
the type of tree.
That's what I'm wondering is what's the majority of the trees? What are they? They don't look like large oaks or anything there.
This looks so peaceful.
It does. The bubbling brook and the stone. I love the stone walls and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, we don't see a lot of this here in the U.S. You know, I do appreciate that look.
And these wide open spaces, especially in a climate like this when all we can actually do is go for a walk to save our sanity. People need to be able to enjoy the countryside just like I am today, and it's a thing that I might even take for granted. I don't think I do. I enjoy it every time, as you can see, and I hope you're enjoying this too, this little look around the countryside. But yeah, people do take it for granted. Farmers may take it for granted as part of their daily life.
Still no public right of way. Okay. So, like, I'm not exactly sure what we're looking at here because, from what I understand, by law, I've been told this at least, by law, they have to keep up these footpaths, or at the very least, don't impede on them.
Right.
And so,
To say.
are what we're looking at here private landowners that are basically like, you're not coming through my land? Is that what we're looking at here?
This looks like a road, though.
No, this does
So
look like, or maybe it's a driveway of some sort. It does kind of look like a one-lane road, though. I've told you about this, man. Like, these beautiful stone walls, man, that seem to be like dotted everywhere throughout the countryside in England specifically.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
I really like it.
So, private property, no public right of way. I'm guessing he's going to get into this about exactly what this means, because this is a little different than what I've been picturing in my head. Like, I didn't even think this was allowed to actually say no public right of way on, like, I don't, in Scotland they have something called, like, right to roam, I believe is what it's called, and you can basically roam anywhere, pretty much.
Wow.
And I've heard that there's something similar in England. I don't know about Wales. But this is something we're going to have to look into, or maybe I'll explain it a little bit more.
So you could see back there that sign that I came across, and I've come across it a couple of times and actually gone the other way, which is along the road, and it's really boring, a boring haul up the road, and there's no real path there to get onto as a pedestrian. But so when I looked into it, there is actually public right of way through here, and you saw me just get to that stile there and through this field and the fields beyond. In fact, I shall do another little time lapse of this public right of way through these few fields.
Use it or lose it. Now, I think I get what he's saying now. Like, these might be public right of ways that have been used so little by the public that the pathways almost disappeared. And so the farmers are just like, we're putting up a, you know, you can't come through anymore. You know, maybe that's what they're saying. If you don't use it, they disappear.
But which came first, the sign or the not being used?
Yeah, true. I'd be curious to know that too.
And there isn't actually a path. I mean, fair enough, the farmer may plough this field up. This field might get ploughed up quite regular, but I can sort of tell that
beautiful green,
no one is walking this way, and it's because they believe they can't, and that's a real shame. And I think if we don't exercise our right, our public right of way, then we'll lose it. These public rights of way have been here for hundreds of years, and they will always remain. So I will take you through in a moment, but I just want to say that I think you'll agree that it's important that I'm going to start walking. I think it's important that the youngsters get out into the countryside and be able to understand nature and where their food comes from, see the farm animals, and they will see that if they can take these public rights of way through fields like this and respect the country code, and we'll all be happy. It's very important. So as you can see, this field, there is no path through, but there is a path. I will show you on the map as I'm walking through. So you can see there that that's where that sign was on the map, and you can see that it's marked in green dotted line on the Ordnance Survey map, and that is public right of way. And you can see it goes all the way through these fields, diagonally across most of these fields. And that's the diagonal path that I'm taking.
That is crazy. Yeah. I mean, like, think about, like, we don't have anything like that here. No. And it makes sense, like, we have more public lands.
Bureau of Land Management, like BLM land.
That is pure public land. Nobody owns that land. Yeah. This is
that's true. This is
a farmer's land that. But like he said, I get it. If you bought this land knowing there's a public right of way,
you would know.
Then there you go. But you got to wonder, like, so if he's put up like no private, or what did it say, no public right of way,
something like that. Yeah.
You got to wonder what the farmer thinks when all of a sudden some dude starts walking and he's like,
well, I'm sure he doesn't like it if he's putting up signs.
Right. It's a very interesting thing because it's completely foreign to us because like. There's no way you can there's no like walking across someone's private land unless you know them. I
personally wouldn't want to buy land with that on it.
No, me neither.
Because I just, like I said, I like my privacy.
Right. But if you did buy it knowing the public right away, you would need to respect the fact that these are trails that are hundreds of years old. And in some cases, old Roman trails that may be 1,000+ years old. You know what I mean? So it just depends on, like, if you know it's already there when you buy it. I mean, it is interesting because you could never back out of it. Your land would forever have this through there.
As long as it was in law.
Yeah.
Ourselves out into the fresh air, into the countryside, away from the hustle and bustle. And so the public right-of-way network is vitally important for that, to get your youngsters out there appreciating the countryside, and like I say, just seeing where their food comes from. That's really important as well. And the public rights of way network plays a massive part in that. So make sure you check your maps and don't just take it for granted. If you've made a circular walk or something like that, you've plotted a route at home, then you can see that you have the public right of way. It's the green dotted marks on your Ordnance Survey map. So yeah, it's really important to check your map, and then if you see one of them signs, you can just ignore it like I did and walk straight through. Great satisfaction walking past that sign. I was really hoping someone would come out. Oi, where are you going?
All right, guys. This is interesting.
Yeah.
So this is something I didn't know about previously on the British Footpaths, that there is this actual use it or lose it thing going on where certain landowners that supposed to not impede on the public right of way are impeding on the public right of way. And that's obviously not allowed. That's not good. I mean, because he's right. Like when you live in an area where there's not as much national parks, state parks and stuff like that, you need something like this. And that's why they have this by law, because without this, there would, a lot of people that don't have yards or don't have, they live in apartments or whatever, they don't have access to nature. And so this makes sure that people have access to nature.
That's true. And one thing I'm wondering now, I know the road system in the UK is a lot different than here. Ours is like more grid and spread out. And we have sidewalks that we can easily walk.
Well, they have more sidewalks than us. They're more walkable areas than us.
Okay, I was wondering if the roads were narrow and they didn't have sidewalks. I don't know.
Well, their roads are more narrow. Obviously, depending on where you're at,
Right.
but the roads tend to be more narrow because they're on a large island, and
I
so
was
they
thinking more
need
in the
to.
countryside, but I guess here in the country we don't have.
I haven't really. I've looked a little bit at that, and I've seen a little bit of driving on the country roads. I love the driving topic. It's one of my favorite topics. It's so different than it is here.
Yeah.
And that's something you really haven't looked into that you'll need to look into with me at some point. But yeah, from what I understand, what I've seen, the roads in the countryside seem to be very narrow. If you're driving along and other cars coming, a lot of times you'll have to get over
Well,
onto
that's what
the
I'm
grass
wondering.
for people to pass.
Well, for people to walk though, here, I
Oh.
feel like you could walk
Yeah,
along a
true.
road. It's not as safe if there's no sidewalk, but
I think there are it's less room to walk in the countryside, but more room to walk in cities where they have
Right,
sidewalks and
right.
stuff. I think it's easier to walk in the country along the road here, and I think it's harder to walk in the city or towns here. They tend to be very walkable towns and stuff there. But I think we're going to go ahead and check out this map.
Okay.
All right. So Footpath Map. 140,000 miles of footpaths in the UK.
wow,
That is insane.
that really is.
I didn't know it was that many. I knew that the footpaths crossed back and forth across the country, through fields and everything, but I know 140,000 miles. Think about the size of the island of Great Britain, for example.
Right.
And-
Yeah, I was just thinking about that.
I mean, 140,000 miles of crisscross footpaths, that's a lot. 20,000 miles of...
What are bridleways?
That's what I was like. What is a bridleway? I've never heard of that. Bridleway. Miles of national cycle network. 16,000 miles for bikers, I guess.
Oh, that's cool.
So miles of bridleways. We're going to have to look at what a bridleway is. I've never heard of that. View to 6,700 square miles of English and Welsh land mapped as open country or registered common land, allowing free rambling across it. So in England and Wales, 6,700 square miles of just land you can
Wow.
just free access ramble.
That's pretty cool.
Holy, wow,
All the red?
wow! I think footpaths, bridleways, byways, the red.
How do you
Wow.
click on just footpath?
Hold
I
on.
want to see just footpaths.
I don't know.
You can't.
Okay, there's national trip. Wow, dude.
That is crazy.
That is insane. So that is the 140,000
I'm glad we
miles.
looked at this map.
Yeah,
Because
that puts it in
that
perspective.
can't be right. Is that really right?
It's got to be. Look at this.
Wow.
That's insane. Let's see. Let's go to. Let's see. Where do we want to go? The interesting thing is, look up here in Scotland. There's a lot less through part
I
of this area.
wonder if it's because it's a lot colder up there. So maybe the places that don't have them aren't really inhabited.
Here's the interesting thing. They have it on the Isle of Man. Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
But they don't have it in Northern Ireland for some reason. Even though Northern Ireland is part of the UK, are they not part of the footpath system? But this is surprising to me right here. Because think about it. You got it up here. This more
Maybe
north than
those
this.
are like rougher terrains where you wouldn't
Yeah.
really.
Hold on. Oh, I can't see the right to roam. Maybe, Scotland does have a huge right to roam
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
So maybe that's why it's just, but look at England and Wales, dude. That's insane, man. I just want to, okay, hold on. Isle of Man.
Look at that. Wow.
You can walk clear across the Isle of Man. Wow. Look at that, dude. That is insane. Oh, the red is the footpath, I think. And maybe the red and the pink are the footpaths. And then
I don't know. We had to look up what a bridleway was. So I don't know.
I think this might be considered bridleway, but we'll have to look that up. Wow. Guys, this is incredible.
I wonder, how often do you use these footpaths? Do you guys go on them very much? And if you do, what's your favorite one? Do they have names? How do you
I think they do.
identify them? Okay.
I think they do.
Like certain trails?
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna when we visit UK. I think it'd be fun to like go on a couple of the short ones. I would say we can go on very long ones, but
Yeah, that's really cool.
I mean, because some of these look pretty short. They just like they're just like look. I mean, like it's just like you could just go for a nice little like that's really cool. Because like no matter where you live at, like look at this. No matter where you live at, outside your door is probably some sort of nature trail. Like really, that's really cool.
Unless you're in London.
Can you imagine trying to? Okay, someone out there's probably got this goal. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna go hiking on every single footpath.
I mean, that would literally be impossible.
That's your entire life.
That would be impossible.
That'd be really cool. All right, guys. So this is pretty insane. Again, look at this. Ready? Boop, boop. Hold on. Coastal path.
Oh.
Go from coast to coast. Ah,
cool.
yeah.
Look at this around. Is that Cornwall down there?
Look at that.
Around. Oh,
wow.
I feel like we've got some books about that, don't we?
Yeah. Wow. This is really cool.
Okay, and I have one more question. If you're a landowner in England or Wales and you own land with these footpaths on them, how do you feel about it? Do you like having them there? Do you get to meet people?
Yeah, that's true.
That'd be,
That's true.
Kind of cool. Or do you not like it?
Yeah, I think it depends on how. I think it would probably a lot would depend on how much land you had. Because if you got a footpath going through one section, but you've got so much land, you got plenty of privacy anyway, then it probably wouldn't be as big a deal. All right, so we got bridle path. I think that's bridleway, also bridleway.
Equestrian trail, bridle. Okay, that makes sense.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So that means that you got certain areas that are for just footpaths, certain areas that are ride horses on,
That's cool.
and certain areas that are for biking.
Okay, yeah.
All right, that makes a lot of sense. All right,
that.
That is cool. All right, guys, I just wanted to look up real quick a little bit more about this. This is a list of long distance footpaths in the UK.
Oh, okay.
But national trails are a network of long distance paths in England and Wales, plus a small stretch, the P9 Way in Scotland, funded by Natural England and Natural Resources Wales and maintained. Interesting. So Natural Resources England, Natural Resources Wales funds these national trails, but also a little bit of small stretch in Scotland. The longest trail, the England Coastal Path, it's not complete, though more sections are planned to open over the coming months and years, with the planned completion date around 2024. Newest trail is the Coast to Coast Walk, which officially opened 2025. There are 83 million visits to the National Trail System each year, and over 80,000 people complete a trail. Wow. All right, so look at that, dude. That was beautiful. Mm-hmm. The paved surface of the P9 Way on Black Hill. Okay, here we go. 110 miles.
Wow.
102 miles, 197 miles coast to coast walk.
How long is the Appalachian Trail?
2,000.
Oh, okay, like really long.
Yeah, it goes from Georgia to Maine, so it's a very long trail.
And what was the Mountain to the Sea Trail? Do you know?
I don't remember how long that. And then there's what you call a trail out west.
What is?
That was the longest one in the U.S. It goes from
Pacific Crest.
Yeah, Pacific. It literally goes from the Mexican border to the Canadian border. Or close, very close to it. Just Coast Walk. Whoa!
The England Coast Path, 2,795 miles.
Will cover the entire coast of England and will be the longest managed and waymarked coastal path in the world.
That is crazy. In the world.
In the world. Wow. I've looked at the Hadrian's Wall path. That's one of the only path. I think that's the only path I've really looked at specifically. Really cool. Do you know anything about the Hadrian's Wall?
Isn't that where the Sycamore Gap?
Yeah, that was along it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's about all I know.
We still have the Sycamore Gap magnet, that tree and a magnet on our refrigerator right now.
Barry sent it to us.
Yeah. I relate to trees. That's not what this video is about, but I love trees, man. Trees are one of my favorite things, and it's just so sad when someone chops down a tree for no reason. But
especially when that's symbolic.
P9 Way, 267. Wow, it is Southwest Coast Path. So that's Somerset, Devon, Cornwall, and Dorset. Originated route for the Coast Guard to walk from lighthouse to lighthouse.
Ooh.
I bet so many of these trails have such an interesting history.
Yeah, I bet it would be beautiful to walk them.
Guys, incredible.
Yeah.
Scotland Great Trails. You know, some of these are obviously too long to do if you got a short period of time, but some of these potentially you could do in a, couple days. I mean, really, if you're going fast enough, I mean, someone could get done with this trail in about a day, 24 miles. Yeah, these are longer, but definitely would like to do some shorter ones. But yeah, guys, I can totally appreciate this because, they do have national parks, but there's just less of the less open land because obviously you're on an island, So something like the footpaths give people the ability to get into nature, and I can totally respect that because it is a need.
Yeah.
Too many people nowadays, don't get out in nature at all. I used to go hiking so much, used to love it. And since I moved to Indiana, really having something I want to get back into, it's something I loved. It used to be such a passion of mine, and it still is. It's just sometimes, how it is with passions, you let your passions go, and something I need to get back into.
Yeah.
But guys, incredible. Let us know what you think about the footpath system. Do you use it? I'm really curious what private landowners think about this in general. I'm guessing that when you go and buy a piece of land and there's footpaths on it, I'm guessing you're like cool with it because
or at least neutral because
yeah,
you're choosing to buy it.
Right. Right. I don't. It depends on if it was a big piece of land and I had plenty of room, I'd probably be open to having a footpath on my land. But if I had a smaller piece and they're walking right past my house, in my yard, basically, I don't know how I'd feel about that. But if you go and buy it, I mean, it's what you're expecting. So, but yeah, guys, you have anything you want to add?
No, we've said it all.
I know. Anyway, hopefully our voices are going to get better in the next little bit. My voice is good, except when I'm get higher pitched, I guess, or when I start getting really excited, as you can start hearing right now. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for stopping by. Please click that like button. Feel free to drop your comments or suggestions about this video or others. And don't forget to subscribe to continue to follow us on our journey to discover our British and Irish ancestry. Till next time, guys. Peace.
Bye.